Hi everyone, welcome back to Google IT Professional Certification course. In the last session, we talked about operating system. So today also we will be working on this operating system. Like already you came to know last session what are the different types of Windows operating systems. We talked about client operating systems, server operating systems. Today we will discuss in detail about this operating systems. So you know this IT, information technology, how the growth is. There are a lot of hundreds of thousands of job opportunities for IT administrators, IT professionals. So as a IT support administrator, you should be able to manage operating system. You should be able to support operating system, troubleshoot operating system. So in order to troubleshoot or support this operating system, you should know the basic things about this operating system. So operating system has two most important components. The first component is kernel space, and the second component is user space. Now what actually is this kernel space? Now kernel is the core component of your operating system. So when I say core component, it is the one which interacts with all your hardware resources, and user space is the one which is outside the kernel, like your applications accessing, text editors, all these are nothing but user space, the GUI mode. Now when you talk about this kernel space, there are four major functionalities of this kernel. First one, it is known as process management, memory management, file management, and input output management. Let us talk about first file management. Now file management means the types of files you create, how computer will access, understand what type of files you are creating, everything. So kernel will take care of all these things. Now file management has three different components: file data, next we have metadata, and file systems. For example, file system means, so when you purchase a new computer, so it is a raw hard disk, it does not have any operating system, nothing. So you need to format this computer with the operating system. When you try to install the operating system, automatically operating system will choose a file system, and the operating system will be installed. Now file system will take care how the files has to be created in your computer. To access these files, file system is mandatory. So right now in the market there are so many different operating systems, right? Like you have Windows, you got Linux, Mac operating systems. Each and every operating system has a different file system. For example, when you talk about Windows, so Windows operating systems will be like using NTFS most commonly, new technology file system. So you talk about any operating system right now in Windows, so it uses this new technology file system. So next, when you talk about Linux operating system, so Linux has so many distributors like Red Hat, Ubuntu. So the most popular file system for Linux operating system is ext4. And Mac operating systems from Apple, so they have their own different file system, HFS. Like they are the different file systems. So you should be able to understand which file system is suitable for your organization, because some file systems support larger data, some file systems will support very small type of data, some file systems provide more security, more features. So while choosing operating system, you should be able to choose your proper file system for your organization. So in file management, next component is metadata. So metadata is something like which contains the complete information, who created the files, at what time, what is the format of the files, all this information you want to know. So metadata will help you. Next, file data. Whatever the data you are keeping in the hard disk will not place in a single, it will not sit in a single place. It will be distributed in the hard disk in the form of blocks. Now, block spaces will help you to store the data faster, access the data much faster. So, they are the different types of components in file management. So, kernel will help to do all these tasks, the kernel space. So, next type of functionality of the kernel is process management. So, process is nothing but a program that is executing. A program means what? Program means it is an application. So, application means maybe for example Google Chrome, maybe WinZip, WinRAR, VLC media player, all these are programs. So, when you try to execute a program, a process has to be created. Now, kernel will take care of all these things. Now, when you talk about computer, so a computer is most popular for running multiple tasks at a time. So, when you talk about your personal computer, you will be running multiple applications, right? So, you open VLC media player, you will try to listen the songs, at the same time you will try to do the work. But how many processors you have in a computer? Only one processor. But how come one processor can handle all these things at a time? So, kernel will take care of all these things. So, what a program needs to be executed, what data? So, when you try to open a program, so immediately a process will be generated. Like when you try to open another process, immediately kernel will try to generate another process. So, all these things will happen in fraction of times, in milliseconds. We will call it as time slice. All these things happens within fraction of seconds actually. So, it is called as a time slice. Now, time slice is nothing but a shorter time period which CPU uses to process that program. So, after process management, so next we have is memory management. Now, when you try to execute a program or an application, so we need CPU, at the same time we need memory also. So, kernel will take care, so how to distribute this memory properly to these applications. Now, final one we have input output devices. So, input output management, like to load the drivers, all these things kernel will take care. So, these are the different types of management tasks done by this kernel. Now, next we have the kernel's user space. Now, user space is nothing but, as I said, so outside of the kernel everything, like outside means like the monitors, the applications, okay, the text editors, okay, all these are nothing but the interaction with your computer, how you do. So, that is nothing but user space. So, these are the two types of major components of an operating system. So, a kernel space and a user space. The last class I showed you how to install this operating system, right? So, server OS. Today I would like to show you how to install this client operating system. So, I will show you how to install this Windows 10 operating system. Okay, for example, if you see the slide, so if you see this slide, you can find out boot menu, like yesterday we already discussed. So, how do you go to this boot menu? So, once you power on this machine, your computer, your personal computer, press F8 on the keyboard or delete button. So, different computers, different keys. So, once you go to this screen, blue screen, you have to go to the fourth option called as boot. From where you are installing this operating system? Is it DVD, USB? You have to select. Right now, the first boot device here it is selected as DVD. You want to change, you can use plus or minus keys here. You can change using these keys. Right now, I will leave it default DVD. So, how do I save my settings? Press F10. So, you press F10, the changes will be saved. So, press enter. You will get a black screen which is asking you to press any key to boot from CD or DVD. Within 5 fraction of seconds, before the 5 dots appear, you have to press any key, or else system will boot from the second boot device. So once you press any key on the keyboard within 5 seconds, so files will be loaded. You will get the installation wizard. So you select your proper language, you click next, install now. So select your edition. So sometimes you'll find out professional, home editions. So right now we have professional, you just click next. Accept the license terms. Maybe already your operating system has, your computer has previous operating system like Windows 8.1. You want to upgrade, you choose upgrade. Right now we are talking about a fresh installation. So we'll go with custom here. Custom. So you can see the partitions. So you want to create more sections like C drive, D drive, which we'll discuss in the next sessions. Right now I'll leave it default, so I'll click next. So operating system will be installed. So depending on your hardware, time changes. So it might be 10 minutes, 15 minutes, depends on your hardware, the hard disk input output performance, the processing speed, RAM, etc. So once installation is done, so you'll get few windows like this. So you can customize your operating system. So right now I'll select express settings here. You have to create a username password. For example, I give my name and password, some hints, something like this. You click next. Okay, your PC will be ready in a few seconds. So this is your Windows 10 desktop. You can see the interface, everything. So this is nothing but user space, the one which you are seeing. Maybe let's say, so I open a computer. So you want to create some new documents, you can create new folders. You can use your operating system something like this. Now there are two different ways of how you can manage your computer operating system. The one which you are seeing is called as GUI, graphical user interface. Like for example, the session which you are watching in your computers right now is GUI, right? You open your computer, you clicked on icons, everything. But in most of the IT sectors, work might be on GUI. At the same time, you will be working with the help of commands. For example, in Windows 10 we have something called as PowerShell. So I went to start, I typed PowerShell. You will get PowerShell here, you can see. Now it looks like a command prompt, you can see. Okay, it looks like a command prompt. But this is very powerful than command prompt. In most of the IT sectors, you have hundreds of computers, hundreds of users. You want to manage these computers, users from one machine remotely. You don't go to every computer, and you have to do that with the help of some scripting that can be run with the help of this PowerShell. Automation, we will call it as automation. There are some stuff which cannot be done using GUI, which can be done only from PowerShell. So we do have some PowerShell sessions where I will discuss how you can manage PowerShell. In Linux, when you go with Linux operating systems, we have something called as bash. So using these command modes, you have to manage your operating systems. When we meet in the next session, I will be showing you how to manage these operating systems using this PowerShell as well as bash. So there are the different ways how you can manage your operating systems. So you have GUI mode and you have command modes. Now, which operating system is suitable for you, for your organization? You have to choose. Like you want to run some applications, all applications are not supported on all operating systems. So as we came to know, there are different types of operating systems. We got Windows, we got Linux, we got Mac, So your project's running on some applications which are supported only on Windows, you choose Windows operating systems. Now when you choose Linux operating system, it is it is like a free operating system. So all the applications you install, everything will be free. So choosing operating system is very important. So when you go with an organization. So we came to know, so what is this operating system kernel, user space, kernel space, how to install this Windows 10. Even we talked about so GUI mode, so how you manage your user space, and PowerShell. There are different methods how you can work on this operating system. Now let us say, for example, you have a problem in your machine. Your machine is giving some trouble. You are not able to open something. So how do you fix these problems? Troubleshooting is a very important part. Now computers can speak with you actually. So they can tell you what is the problem they are facing, but they can't directly whisper into your ears. So how they will speak? They will speak with the help of something called as logs. Logs will tell you all the details. So what is happening in your computer? What are the problems? So how to fix the problems? So as the IT support administrator, you should be able to understand these logs. You should know how to manage these logs. In the next sessions, I will be showing you how to manage these logs, how to work on these logs in detail. Okay. So for time being, so this is about our today's session. So how to work on operating system, how to install this client operating system, the user space and kernel space. So in the next class, we will be talking in detail about this operating system. So we will see how to manage the server operating systems also. So that will be end of your today's session. So this is Vinay Kumar signing off. Thank you everyone. అది నెక్స్ట్ క్లాసెస్ కొంచెం పెద్దగా ఉంటాయి.